Hello, America. Bob Jones here. Got a couple guests with me. Got your friendly neighborhood ninja and the one and only Canales. Welcome to Meeting of the Minds 17. How's
Buenas noches.
Yes, definitely. It's always good to have the good Spaniard American patriot. He may not be American in citizenship, but he's still American at heart.
You're damn right I am. See, I've been practicing my redneck accent.
Yes, because you got
that's
to have
excellent.
the rednecks about. Got to have the rednecks about. And how are you doing, Ninja? You're being rather quiet.
I'm doing excellent. Just happy to be here and get some good discussion going.
Definitely.
I say thanks for having me on.
Well,
And
I'm always proud to have a good, soy-free American patriot that I know is not controlled by the reticuloids and the soy.
yeah, we'll have to do a couple of panels of Bob Jones and your friendly neighborhood ninja punching some reticuloids right in the
Well,
mouth.
the thing about the reticuloids is they're shapeshifters. It's difficult to find out what they look like because every time you think you found them, they transform into something else. They're
That's all. They're either really ugly or really fat. You can never tell which one is it.
Exactly. 1 minute, they're a fat androgynous she-male. Next minute, they're blue-haired whatchamacallit.
I have unfortunately encountered these creatures before.
Exactly. I'm still disappointed that unfortunately certain members of the community have made a certain blue-haired individual correct. Still quite disappointed. Curse!
Oh man.
Curse the Row and his legionnaire zealots. Whether you love EVS or not, I personally will continue to be very critical of EVS. But one thing I will say is when you have a group that is making problems, you have to worry about the people that they destroy in their zealotry. We've lost two good American patriots. We've lost Ryan Ball and Trent Luther to their zealotry, and it is very unfortunate. How you doing, Sketch? I couldn't tell you about Alex. He's been unpersoned, and it's quite difficult to talk about, because Apple dropped him, and, well, quite frankly, like I said, twice removed. Twice removed.
It's been a sad week to see Brian and Trent leave, but thing happens. I was talking about it in a live stream yesterday. I think these are growing pains of a new industry. The new model is growing, and there's going to be infighting. There's going to be this is like Reservoir Dogs. We ran away with the booty, and now it's up to us not to kill each other.
Out of character, that is a very valid point. But my whole thing is when it comes to Rowe, this is the second time he's done it. He did it a month ago, like him and his, group a month ago went after Brian, went after Troy. And I didn't know who did it until just, this time. And it's like Sketch, he's upset because he follows Rowe. Hey, I'm not going to tell you not to follow. Like who you like. I personally, I view it as if we don't hold members, if we don't hold members of our side accountable when they step out of line, when they screw up, then we're no better than the other side. And that is my thought on that. We have to hold ourselves accountable. When you become, I guess the best way to put it, the fact that he became such a zealot that he lost sight of the big picture. Just because Brian Ball didn't want to be wanted to be Team Rags, not Comics Gate,
I respect that. I also like to be Team Canales. The very first time somebody mentioned that I was part of Comicsgate, I made clear that I'm like Boba Fett. I'm with Comicsgate because they're paying. But if by any chance, Heather Antos and company are willing to pay me more than you guys do, I will kill you all in an instant. I won't blink.
At least you're honest about it.
Yeah. I'm a soulless murdering machine who also happens to draw comics.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, it's funny because before you popped in, Ninja and I were talking, and we were both talking about how we would love the opportunity to spar you just for the fucking opportunity.
I want to spar some of you guys. I'm curious. I always go to this gym in New York every year. Every time I go there, I go to Gleason's gym, and nobody wants to spar with me. I don't know why. I don't know. Maybe I'm scary, or maybe my accent throws them off.
Well,
you are a big guy. I've seen those clips. I mean, nobody wants to get punched by you. No, that's is what it is. Is nobody really wants to get punched? Not by you, anyhow.
Yeah, but I'm a big softie. I never go hard against my sparring partners.
Well,
yeah, but they don't know that. That's the problem. You can say that. Right. And I sparred a guy like twice my size before, right? And he's like, "Oh yeah, well, I will only go like 50%." And I'm like, "Okay, cool." Well, his 50% is a lot more than my 50%. Yeah. And he hit me, and he shifted my internal organs, and I was like, "Oh,
oh no!" My whole point, though, is one of those. When you go into sparring, you have to go into with the mindset of you're there to learn something. And that's the big thing. When you're sparring, you're not trying to kill each other. You're there to learn. Maybe that person has, you know what I mean, knowledge that you don't have, and might be able to point out something in your technique that you are doing wrong. And be
absolutely.
Like, try this instead of that, like for me, one of my big issues is I hold back so much, and like, so, because I'm, the thing about martial arts is if you're not careful, you can honestly hurt somebody, whether you mean to or not. And that's the big thing that, like, I always worry about is I don't want to hurt anybody. I'm just, you know what I mean? We're sparring. We're just trying to have a good time.
I always say that going all out on a sparring match is stupid because you're not gonna get paid. See, that's my mercenary side speaking again. But yeah, going all out on a sparring match is stupid because you're gonna get injured or you're gonna injure the guy, and it's going to be all for nothing because nobody's gonna get paid. If you wanna suffer for something, make it worthwhile.
And exactly, and like you don't, like I said, you don't learn anything.
Yeah.
You're which is what you're trying to do. When you are, like, for instance, when I spar Kuma, I'm always trying to get a little bit better, get better at blocking, because for somehow, some way, he always finds a way to hit me right in the nose every time. Every fucking, oh no, my nose is like pretty much fucking done.
I always try not to be an asshole, and I aim for the forehead,
Oh, that's hilarious, actually. God damn it! At least it's not my nose. That'd be my first response. It's like, at least it's not the fucking nose.
Yep.
But like, I don't know. For me, I'm a firm believer that the whole point of sparring, though, like I said, you're trying to get better, and it's also about the camaraderie. You know what I mean? You're.
Yeah, I was talking about that the other day, ironically, on Raw's live stream, about how when you you don't have to go through hell, but when you're fighting someone and the fight is over, both opponents have seen a side of the other guy that nobody else has seen, so it kind of creates a bond, And the harder, the more brutal the fight, I think that the stronger is that bond.
Well, and that's definitely a good part of it. Like, Kuma's 6'2", 6'3", like 300 and something pounds, and like he's Dude, he's one of my best friends, and when we spar, man, holy shit, does that he definitely makes sure I learn something one way or another, even if it's
But you
painful.
practice anyway. You never told me. You're a boxer or?
My dad taught me boxing as a kid, so I do have a bit of that. But it's I always screw up the name. Kyokushinkai.
Oh, oh, that's awesome. My dad also practices Kyokushin. He's a black belt.
Oh, same in Kyokushinkai.
Yeah, he actually he was originally a judo practitioner. Then he transitioned to Kyokushin when he was living in Brussels, and he taught me some Kyokushin. That's some hard shit, man. It's a really tough martial art.
Oh yeah, dude. No, it's a brutal fucking style. That's part of the reason why I like it. And mind you, I'm not dojo trained, and I'm lowest student. Don't think I'm some sort of badass. I'm lowest student, but
Yeah, I'm white belt myself. I'm not,
But see, thank you. I hate, that's one thing I hate is when people go, "What belt are you? White belt?" But that doesn't mean any. That means I'm not dojo trained, dumbass. Like it's one of those frustrating things. But moving on. But the whole thing that I like about it is it's all about, the best way I've heard it put is Kyokushin is all about taking the temple that is the human body and then shitting all over it.
That's a good way to put it. Yes.
Because to those who don't know, Kyokushin is basically Korean showing Japanese how to karate, which is karate being a Japanese style. And yeah, he never got, like, even though he had earned it multiple times over. Trying to remember, I think Miyazaki is the guy's name. He, the creator of the style, he was never given a head of the Japanese.
Kudos, and I mean, Oyama. You mean Oyama?
I do believe that's right. I can never remember his name. I used to.
If you mean the creator of Kyokushin, that's Masoyama.
Masoyama, thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Masayama was, whew, he knew, like, I've heard stories about some of the things that he could do.
Oh, like, there's videos of him on YouTube cutting a beer bottle in half with the knife of the hand. I don't know how it's called in English.
Shuto.
Yeah, with the shuto.
Yep. He was just...
He was a big badass.
Yes, he was. Oh my god. Like I said, Korean who showed Japanese how to karate.
Ty wants to know what this stream is about. It is about all of the excellence that we are in martial arts.
Well, yes, we were supposed to be talking about comics, and we're talking about.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we're talking about.
So sue us.
Well, let's be honest.
Well, no, listen. I mean, martial arts have been in comics for how long, though? So, I mean, it does have a relatable topic.
Exactly. I mean, let's be honest. Martial art, comic books made us want to get into martial arts. Comic books made us want to be like, made us want to be better people. And we do need to get back on subject with everything that's going on within the Comicsgate community and everything. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to force it, and we kind of got on martial arts, and that's always a fun conversation for me.
Because, I mean, it could be just fun. We'll just have a little bit of fun here. But yeah, for real, we could be talking about comics, I guess.
Yeah, well, my whole point with the whole comic situation that we're going through now is it's like you've mentioned before, Ninja, about how you don't want it to turn into a civil war and everything, but in a way it kind of has. And for me, we've reached a point where we have a strict group of zealots that are causing a problem, and that's my biggest problem with it. They're zealots. They all worship EVS in the ground he walks on, the whole Hail Caesars and whatnot, and I'm not down with that. I've always been critical of EVS. I'm not planning on stopping being critical of EVS, and to me, like, quite frankly, like I've been reading Sketch's comments, and he's like, "Well, Brian shat on, the CG crowd and was taking pop shots at him." How many times did he ask for basically the comic skaters to stop tagging him in and using him as a shield whenever diversity got brought up? How many times did he try to be polite about it? How many times did he just be like, "Look, dude, I'm not against y'all," and then at the end, dude, he got tired of it. I don't blame him, especially after last weekend where, like, he wasn't a week ago, he wasn't shitting on anybody. He was just having fun. And then the whole the war campaign shat all over him for no reason. And then, he started laughing about the whole Vox Day bit, which he called. He even had the moment saved. He called like a month ago that something like this is going to happen. He had room to talk. He wasn't shitting. He was like, "I called it. I fucking called it. I fucking called it. I called it." You know what I mean?
No, I think. Go ahead. No, okay. I was just going to say that it's something like that. Yes, it was bound to happen. Comicsgate is getting popular, as we can see judging by the attacks we're enduring from the established pros. So yeah, I always say that I can see the merit in everyone's points. I can see why they did it. I can also understand that I agree and disagree with the war campaign guys and in some points. And shit, I lost my train of thought here. I was trying to be so polite that I forget what I was trying to say. But basically, yeah, I mean, I understand why the Rags team left, and I also understand why the Centurions may have wanted to take it as far as they took, even though I disagree with the tactics. But I don't know. As you say, and on the stream I was yesterday, we brought up a really good point that when you go to a boarding school, there's 3 phases. The first phase, everyone gets along. The second phase, different factions begin to be formed, and people take sides, and some of them don't get along so well. And in the third phase, everything has settled down, either because everyone is gone their own different ways, the separate ways, or because they get along again. So hopefully, maybe we're on that third phase already. I don't know,
or at least working towards it. Well, like I said, my whole point is we don't need to be. And it's funny because Gorgonite mentions the key thing here. You seem not to be getting the idea that tribalistic people exist. You can't hide behind the individualism excuse. There are people who work in collectives, and that's exactly what happened. It was a group of people who worked collectively to make, it's one thing if you're going to sit there like me, I kind of do my own thing. I am CG affiliated, but not CG. Like, that's the way I've been for a while. I started out, pure CG, and then I saw the tribalism happening. I was like, nope. I do not support tribalism. I do not support the branching off into groups. I do not support. We either all work together to fix the problems within comics. We all work together to make it to where we can have. Like, the whole point is we're trying to have something nice here. We're trying to have something that'll last, 30, 40 years from now. And we won't have that if we are allowing ourselves to be balkanized into groups, especially amongst the Comicsgate community.
That presents a paradox, because in order to avoid that, you will have to, create another tribe that prevents that tribe from doing that, and we would be back at square one. I don't know if what I'm saying makes any sense, but it does to me.
No, I get it. The only way to fight tribalism is with tribalism, and that's the downside of it. It's like, even though it's supposed to be the way you fight tribalism is through individuality and individualism, but unfortunately the nature of tribalism creates a situation to where you can, or not so much where you can, but where you innately have to, you just break up into groups and everyone disagrees on everything because everyone thinks it should be done a specific way. And my whole point with, like I said, the whole Rose situation is we could have easily, yes, it's a vicious cycle. Thank you, Gorgonite Emissary. It is a vicious cycle. And for me, I see us going the same way that the SJWs that we fight against go. Like, I understand. I'm, like I said earlier with, Sketch being a big fan of Rose and war campaigns. He can like who he likes. I'm not going to tell you. Prime example, Ninja. All of us have our own qualms with Tyrant comics, correct?
Correct.
Have I ever at any time told you that you have to pull your support for him?
No, not once.
Like who you want to like.
And this is the thing is, this whole Comicsgate thing really got me started and motivated to make something in comics. But, it's kind of a thing to really, it distracts every one of us who wanted to be in comics or have something. And it makes it hard when it's just a bunch of fighting. I thought originally that the Comicsgate was this giant inclusive, a big kind of middle finger to the mainstream companies that have been crapping on us as fans and creators for how long? Because you choose your political party or because of your religious belief. That's not something you do when you have a successful business. It's not how you treat people in general. You just don't do that to people. And I had a different opinion, I guess. It just seemed different earlier on when I started following this whole thing. And now it's just the same thing that the SJWs were doing. They get together and talk crap on some fans, and now they're doing the same thing. EVS's Legion it's just not cool because, well, there's no positivity anymore. Now they just make it right, or it's going to end. It's going to end badly, and nobody's going to win.
Yeah, once again, it's like I said, we're allowing ourselves to be balkanized needlessly. And it's like the whole point of what we were trying to do is we were trying to prevent this from happening. We were trying to join up, be a group. You know what I mean?
We were supposed to be fighting the good fight together against the Reticuloids and the Brian Michael Bendis-led Reticuloid invasion.
Like, that was the whole point.
I support the cause. I will donate all my earnings to the war campaign against the Reticuloids.
Thank you. That's what it's supposed to be about. It's supposed to be about fighting the Reticuloids, about preventing the Sapolsky pot, controlled by Bendis, from doing any more damage to Marvel. It's supposed to be to prevent Bendis from destroying DC. Supposed to be about
is it that bad? I didn't even go near DC in like 2 years either. Is it really that bad what he's doing to Superman?
It really is.
Dude. He is ruining Superman. Ruining it. He came in there all looking like Lex Luthor, and he was like, finally, the reincarnation of Lex Luthor has control of Superman.
Yeah.
Pretty much. More like more like fucking Fat Luthor or whatever. Whatever we said the other night, I can't remember. All I know is
damn it, Bendis.
I mean, to me, it was. We can either A, let them continue to destroy comics, or B, we can stop our goddamn infighting. And, it's funny because for me, I don't care who started it. We all need to quit it. That's my point. It shouldn't matter. We all are responsible. We all need to take our lumps and just be like, look, we let it get to the point where it became a problem. And instead of us actually going, okay,
let's fix the problem. We're too busy infighting. Let the whole situation with the Rags guys be a lesson on both ends. You know,
What's up, Matt?
I didn't even know Matt
just
came
got here.
in.
Hey, what's that,
I was
man?
right in the middle of making a good point. Sorry.
Hey guys,
What's up, Matt?
just got off a stream with Brett and Tank.
Ah, word. How's
Yeah.
Tank doing? How's Brett doing?
He's doing good. We are talking about comics and our projects.
Nice.
Yep.
Which I'm looking forward to everyone's projects getting done. I think it's going to be awesome.
I know mine is going to be.
Heck yeah.
You know it. Fucking
Oh yeah. Yep.
saw the sketches you were doing for your new project with Richard. It looks like it's going to be awesome.
Thank you very much. I think I become a much better artist with practice, and I hope this will please the fans and anger the haters much more than our previous project.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Because quite frankly, I like it when the detractors are angered. Because
That's a good sign. That's always a good sign.
well, I mean, come on, let's be honest. This recent push that they've been doing is because they know we are about to have all these comics be delivered on, and they can't sit there and go, well, they didn't deliver, la da 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 da. They pulled to us. No, they're all getting delivered on. We ain't you. We are not you, and that's the whole point. And thank you, Matt, for handling chat. I was just gonna let Sketch get it out of his system.
No problem.
And I understand, and I'm not gonna fault Sketch for this one because he's just trying to defend his friend, and I understand that. I'd do the same thing. You know what I mean? I'm the same way.
Well, I think
No, yeah,
you'd be a lot more calmer though.
Yeah.
Well, you know, everyone has his style. I used to be one vicious motherfucker when I first began trolling SJWs on online, so I won't be judging anyone.
Well, like I said, I'm not gonna fault him for it. If Ro's his friend, Ro's his friend. I understand. Whether I agree with Ro, whether I like him, whether I feel how, no matter what your view on the situation is, I'm not going to judge him because you know what? We all do stick up for our friends. And I view Brian as a friend. So of course I'm going to stick up for him.
And it's like he's trying to tell you that he can't stick up for your friend, but he can stick up for his.
Yeah, and that's why I'm just like, I'm just letting him get it out of his system. I'd rather him get it out of his system and feel like he stood up for his friend, even if it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but there's gotta be some order, and he's pissing off people off, so.
Oh, I know.
Gotta get handled, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just don't want a repeat of last time where he just kept popping back because he felt like we were picking on him. I understand. And, I even have my moments where I've felt like that, and I'm all like, why are you picking on me when everyone else gets to talk, la da 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 da. It's like, you know what, just let him get it out of the system. It's better to let him get it out of the system and feel like he at least stood up for his friend. And I understand that.
Yeah.
Like, I would be lying if I said I didn't stick up for Brian or at least tried to on Ro's war campaign where he started talking shit about him. Tried to, because went to the wayside, no one paid attention, but I tried.
Yeah, but I think it's easier for them to ignore you because they've got more people in the chat, and you get drowned out.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, unless you got some money to put in those chats, they ain't gonna hear you.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't know they were big enough to have super chats.
Well, some of them. Some of them, I guess.
I
Then
know.
Another time, yeah, they only see the comments of their buddies and stuff. They're serious followers,
More likely.
or legionnaires, or whatever it is, whatever they call themselves.
Listen, the LARPing Centurions.
Yeah.
Well, either way, like, I don't want anybody feeling like they can't stick up for their friends.
Yeah.
And
Well, as far as I know, I think John De La Rose and Ethan Van Sciver are cool now, are friends again. So I think, all things considered, it could have been worse.
This is one area where I do agree
That's what
with
they say
Sketch.
anyway.
This is one area where I do agree with Sketch, where Sketch mentioned the other night stream how basically the whole issue with the John De La Rose, Vox Day both saying they support ethno states and things like that. I agree. That's that's going to create more problems than it. The whole point is we all need to learn to work together. Then why are we creating ethno states? Because that does the exact opposite of what we're trying.
Now, see, this is the thing. Vox Day can believe whatever the hell he wants, as long as he's not trying to impose onto others. Because, as I always say, I've been working with people I disagree with for ages. I've worked with full-blown Marxists, with communists, with I don't know, and we got along together well because we didn't talk about the stuff. You're free to believe whatever you want to believe. I mean, as long as you don't try to force the art that we're doing to conform to your views, or cram it down other people's throats, I don't have a problem with that. I can work with a communist. I can work with a freaking Nazi, and there you go. There you have your sound clip, so you can take out of context and call me a Nazi. You're welcome, guys. But yeah, I mean, I'm a free speech absolutist. I can debate anyone about everything and remain friends with them.
Oh yeah, man. I have to say, that's the best part about America is our freedom of speech.
And
Absolutely.
oh yeah, and real quick, Sketch. No, I actually, if you haven't been paying attention, I've actually been saying, just let you do your thing. I understand you're sticking up for your buddy. Don't you get mad about, something without understanding. I actually have been saying, hey, just, let you do you. No point in getting mad. We're all friends here. Had to get that, trying to diffuse the situation and whatnot, because this is exactly what I'm talking about. There's no need for the infighting. We can all be adults about the situation. Whether you can have your own opinion about it. I have my own. Canales has his. Matt has his. Ninja has his. We all have our own opinions on the situation. And we're all trying to handle the situations appropriately. The fact that you're sticking up for your friend, Sketch, is commendable. Like I said before, like who you like. I'm not going to tell you no. That would be me being a hypocrite.
No, that's true. As we said, you gotta defend your freedom of speech, because you don't wanna become what we become. You don't wanna legislate your freedom of speech or your freedom of. Do you guys have freedom of association?
Yep.
Yeah, we do.
Well, there you go. We're legislating that, and you no longer have freedom of speech in Spain, and I don't think you have freedom of association either. Because it's if they catch you tweeting the wrong shit in Spain or hanging out with the wrong crowd, you're going to jail here, for 2 years.
I believe it. No, it's kind of sad actually. It's why you have so many people trying to get out of there, and because of the fact that you have all these countries going so far left that it's like they are pretty much trying to make themselves like the literal Soviet Union, and they don't even realize it. It's like, do you really think if it didn't work for Stalin and all them, no matter how hard they tried, do you really think it's going to work for you?
oh, it's going to work this time. You know, that's their war cry. This
Oh, yeah.
time it will work.
Yeah, uh-huh. This
No,
time.
this is a thing that happens among humans. They always say, "No, it's only censorship if the government does it." No, man. There's I don't want to sound like a social justice warrior, but there is a power dynamic in every human interaction. There's always, you know, the guy who speaks the loudest in a group of friends, the guy who gets all the girls, and the other guys follow him or whatever. You know what I mean, right? And in this case, there's power dynamics on the internet, and people will use their power. The you know, in the case of Max Bisaggio, which is one of my latest experiences, learning experiences on the internet. She has power. She has learned how to weaponize her victim status, and he uses it to seek, not really seek people, but onto other people, but you know, to silence people and shame them. And on real life, that kind of power is usually symbolized, signified by the government. But online, on a practically anarchist place like Twitter, because Twitter is pretty much an anarchy, as we all can tell. It's pretty much Mad Max down there. That's how power dynamics work. People have followers, people have influence, and they use it or abuse it as powerful people would in real life. So it's up to us, I guess, as human beings, to learn to use that power that some of us might have, not in the way of the asshole. Does it make any sense?
Oh yeah, no. It's it
Well,
makes a lot of sense.
Uncle Ben said it best: with great power comes great responsibility.
Well, there you go.
You know.
Yep.
I mean, you gotta step it up. If you know that you have all these fans, then you have to step it up and say, "Hey guys, calm it down. We don't need negativity. If anything, be positive and be cool with people."
Yeah,
You know, he could have easily just done that, and there would be a whole lot less nonsense going on.
but no, instead, good old Mags got to do what Mags does, which is say something, realize, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that, and then try to backtrack at the last minute to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you guys saw what he did to Peter Cimeri?
Oh, dude.
I don't. Well, you know, there's a part of me that's like interested, and there's a part of me that's like probably glad that I didn't, because
Yeah, that's where I'm at because
Yeah, no, it will make your blood boil bad.
it's like you know, because Peter has been drugged through the mud enough. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we've been dealing with enough bullshit. It's it's just pointless. I don't see it. It's why like the way I'm starting to look at this whole situation. It's why I'm like I said I am CG affiliated but not CG because I don't believe in the tribalism. We don't need to set up our own tribes. What we need to do is start working together. It's what has always been my main thing. Work together. You work together, you build a better tomorrow. It's only those who cannot figure out how to work together with others need to break everyone up, if that makes sense.
But see, that's the thing about Comicsgate, that we're not like the social justice warriors, in the sense that we're not a hive mind. We're just a lot of people. I was going to say a bunch, but a lot of people who just share the common goal of taking comics back from SJWs, and that's pretty much it. Because otherwise, pretty much everyone in this movement is different. We're just a lot of individuals with lots of individual beliefs. So to say that Comicsgate should do this thing, yeah, that's hard, man. Because as I said, we're not an organized movement. It's just a hashtag. So that's a problem. You can make Comicsgate do one thing, because there's I always say Comicsgaters more than Comicsgate. Know what I mean? Because it's not a collective. It's just a bunch of people with similar goals.
Oh yeah. I'm just the way I look at it is when you have something that's meant to be a group effort, to be a force for good, everyone chips in their 2 cents. Not everyone immediately falls in line with one person's vision or the quote-unquote hive's decision. No, our vision. It's everyone works together to build a better tomorrow. It's like, come on, we don't need the issues. We don't need to be fighting amongst each other. We don't need to be, if we have a disagreement, we have a disagreement, but it's like we are respectful about it. We don't need to be having this, putting our, you know what I mean, putting the flag in the dirt, and this is, yes, I'll admit, am I marking the line in the sand with the whole Rose situation? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. But I want, at the end of this, when people are going, well, what did you say? Did you say anything about it when it happened? Yes. Yes, I did. Because I want to be known as the guy that's always consistent. If I disagree with it on their side, I'm going to call it out on our side. Because I don't agree with it. We are supposed to be holding ourselves to a higher standard. We can't just let our side do whatever the hell they want. I mean, when Mags sit there and makes a comment about taking a baseball bat to the teeth of everyone who's right or far left, that's a bad look. That's a really bad look.
And it doesn't help if you have a bunch of Legionnaires tweeting out death threats to people or whatever nonsense, just generalized harassment.
Yeah, and it's like... And, like I said, I'm not, and that's why I'm like, I'm really just trying to, for instance, with Sketch, I'm trying to let Sketch get it out of his system. I don't want him feeling like, because quite frankly, I don't like anybody being silenced. I may not agree with what you say, but at least I want you to be able to say it, as long as it's not crazy. And he's not talking crazy. He's just standing up for what he believes in. I'm not going to fault him for that. And the whole point is, we want to be able to have these conversations. And yes, it may get heated, but at least we are having them. At least we are trying to be respectful.
I always say that the things you can talk about are the things you fight over. So yes, we should definitely talk about this and reach some kind of middle ground. That's what I'm trying to do. That's why I always say I'm a centrist. I'm trying not to take sides in this, and I'm just trying to make people get along again, because I think at the end of the day we all want the same, and we all are much smarter and much more civilized than your average SJW. So I think we can pull through.
Excellent sentiment. I totally agree.
Gracias.
Enough of this fighting. That's not how you treat people. It's not how you conduct business, for one.
Oh yeah, no.
The golden rule. That's don't you guys know what the golden rule is? Do unto others as you would have. Yeah. Yep. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Perfect. That's why are we not doing that? I mean, the idea behind creating comics is to tell a hero's tale. Well, if you're the author of a hero's tale, then, or the illustrator, you should kind of embody that hero, shouldn't you? And it really doesn't show a hero's personality with this kind of nonsense. And this is just very disheartening to see the infighting. And we need to bring it back to a place of friendship and creation.
Yeah, exactly. We're all a bunch of folks who are very diverse, male, female, of all different nationalities. We all are just a group that loves comics. These are our heroes' tales, our Greek mythology for the modern age. And comics was something that made so many people want to be better people, want to follow the hero's tale, if you will.
Exactly.
Like, they are our, Odysseus's, they are our Hercules, our Jasons, you get the idea.
Yeah.
I always say that Alexander the Great conquered Europe and and everything that he conquered, whatever it was, I can't remember right now, because he got inspired by the old Greek gods. They were fictional characters that he had read about on a piece of paper. I don't know. Did they have paper back then, or did they just
Parchment,
have?
maybe?
I don't know. Maybe caves.
Tablet.
But you get my point. They were just fictional characters that he had read about, and they inspired him to create basically the basement, the pillars of our civilization. So
yeah.
don't ever underestimate the power of stories, the power that they have on people.
Oh yeah, like I went and got up and grabbed up my copy of the Odyssey that I love because it's a want to get the exact date on it. Copyright 1944.
Damn.
Yes. Oh, I love old books. Oh, you weren't here for the other night, Canalis. I showed off my book collection.
I must have.
Oh, man, yeah.
Sorry, I missed that.
Bob has got a book collection he's got like a public library in his
You
house.
nerd. You're such a nerd.
That knowledge is power, my friend. Knowledge is power, and I wish to be the most powerful of them all. Booyah! What now, my truckers?
Now that's a noble goal, and I applaud you.
Well, the funny thing is like I mentioned, it's like a lot of my books tend to contradict each other, and that's kind of the funny part. Yes, they contradict, but by having read them both, I can go, okay, the truth is probably somewhere in the middle.
Oh yes, absolutely. I probably told you guys that I'm Basque. I probably told you like a bazillion times already, but
no, not at all.
Not at all. Let me tell you about the days of high adventure. When I was a kid, I used to sympathize. I'm not going to say that I regret that they seem like the right thing to do, but I sympathize with the far left terrorists that we have here. And one thing is for certain: the Spanish press would lie about the Basques, just as they lie about conservatives now. So we used to, in my family, we used to buy both the Basque sympathizing papers and both the Spanish sympathizing papers and read them all. And we said what you just said. The truth is probably somewhere in between, because the guys from our side are telling our side of the story. The enemy, so to speak, are telling the other side of the story. So that's what we did. They contradict each other all the time. So we have to pretty much make up the story in our minds using a bit of and fragments of from the newspapers that we read. So yeah, maybe that's why I'm not entirely stupid.
Hey, no, that's actually a really good thing, dude. Like I said before, it's knowledge is power. Without a strong mind, it doesn't matter how strong of body you are. I mean, come on, earlier in the live stream we were talking about martial arts, but let's be honest, you can't be a stupid martial artist.
Oh no! You fight with your heart. You fight with your mind.
Exactly. When you have in order to be a solid martial artist, you have to have strong mind as well as a strong body, because of the fact that the two go so well together. Because
why do you think I identify as a ninja?
Exactly.
There you go.
I'm not as stealthy as I used to be. Oh my god, but then again, I used to work on it all the time. I used to be able to, having keys dangling off me, chain, in steel toe work boots and combat boots and whatnot, be able to go into a dead run and not make a sound.
Well, that was not my case. I've always been like 240 pounds. So, I was more like like an armored vehicle than an actual fighter.
Oh, dude, no. All right, so here's story time. Y'all are going to love this. So when I was in Salt Lake City and worked in electronics at Walmart, one of the things that I kind of started amongst there, because this is when they first gave all the employees the little holsters for their box cutters, right? So I started a game. Who could pickpocket the box cutter out of the holster? And oh my God, I was such a dick with that game. Everyone would try to do it to me. They could never do it. They'd be able to get it off of each other fairly well, but no one could get mine. I think I only got caught slipping like once.
Man.
Everyone else couldn't do it. No one else.
The games that could get you fired at work. Ah.
No. Actually, the manager over electronics was even in on the game.
Nice.
He'd come up. You'd see him like literally trying to get it off of us. The whole point of it was good for morale. All right, we had a shitty store. All right, we're talking. No one liked the co-manager over the Walmart has two co-managers, one that's over grocery, one that's over general merchandise. All right, no one liked the general merchandise co-manager because she didn't have people skills, she didn't respect her people, and she was just all around just a shitty person. If you did not thump a Book of Mormon, she didn't like you.
Oh shit. Dropping the Mormons. I used to be a Mormon.
Like that level of individual. And so when you have an individual like that in management, it very quickly kills morale. Nobody wants to be to work or come to work and so on and so forth. And I like that. Starbillion, Bob Jones is from the streets. His idea of games is pickpocketing box cutters off of people.
That's some truth.
Right? But anyway, so I started this game because I knew everyone would enjoy it, everyone would have fun and everything. But man, one guy, oddly enough, named Mike, which my middle name, that's why I say oddly enough, it's hilarious. But he got, oh man, I used to piss this dude off. Because he tried everything to keep me from getting his box cutter. Everything. And he was so oblivious to the world that I just yoink, yoink, yoink. I would give it back to him, walk by, take it back off of him, and he would not even know.
You should have looked for a job as a government assassin. You would be really successful and rich.
Oh, dude, that's like another story. Shit, I used to pull at my store. Of course, electronics and the cell phone people, because they're right there in the same area, like same counter space and everything. They're together, but photo in most stores, at most Walmarts, also are really good together with the electronics guys. So one of the Photoshop girls was all like, "Oh, I'm going on lunch." She goes out to the main area and starts walking down. I just kind of look at all the electronics guys and I'm like, I do the whole watch this motion, and I bolt around going through the aisles and everything. She's in the main area, the main walkway, if you will, in Walmart, walking by electronics and photo. And she gets to a certain point and I come around, rah! And you just hear her scream bloody murder. And then you hear a roar of laughter from electronics. It was so great. Oh, I miss those days. I miss when I was that stealthy. I couldn't do it now. I've gotten lazy. I don't sneak like I should.
Well, being a dad, I've got to be sneaky all the time because of having sleeping kids here and there.
Well, that, and if you want to catch the kids doing something, you kind of need to be stealthy.
Yeah, I'll just be standing there watching them misbehave, and all of a sudden they turn around. Maybe he just appeared.
Mm-hmm. It's like, yep, uh-huh. What, you did you not think I was here?
They'll find themselves dangling from the ceiling, tied with a bat rope.
They just wake up and they're upside down.
Like, hey, my parents did it to me. Then again, I'll admit, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't kind of a bit of a pain in the ass. Smart kids generally are. That's why I fear the day that I have kids. Because I know Oh, I know. From my own intelligence and the hell I put my parents through, I'm going to be a pain in the ass little shit.
Well, I don't think I have to worry about that because, oh my god, women around me. Jesus. You guys see the pictures? I always share about them.
And we're about to have a wild Mindy Wheeler in here. I'm sending her the link now.
Oh, cool.
I'll stop talking about women right now.
Well said.
Oops.
Oh no.
That is hilarious.
I wonder if she's going to be all in. Let's keep this highbrow if a lady's going to be here.
Yeah, yes, like we have a hard time doing that most of the time.
Yes, behave,
So,
children,
yes,
behave.
Get your pinky fingers out, put your monocles on, and get your top hats. It's
Where's
time
my
to be
monocle?
gentlemen.
Where's my monocle? Damn it, I don't have a monocle.
I don't have a top hat or monocle. Sorry.
Right. And you know, don't have a cane either, so I guess I'm just SOL.
no.
There's a Mindy.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Nope, not at all. Not at all.
Oh, boy.
I can though.
Was
Yeah,
that
I
a
can
yes
hear
or
you.
no?
Mindy.
Yeah.
I can hear you.
Yes, we.
Bob's just bad.
Okay. Feedback. Okay, hang on a second. Cool. All right, you guys talk. See if I can hear you.
La, la, la,
Hello.
la, la.
Hello.
Very
Hola.
well done. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
What's up?
Cool. So I'm sorry I have a crazy schedule and I'm dealing with a teething baby, but I did find a minute to pop in real quick and be here for whatever you guys wanted to talk about. I listened in for a few minutes, and I heard you guys stop talking about women. So, you know.
Oh, there goes my credibility.
I am so not easily offended. I've got really thick skin. I really don't care what you guys say. Just so you know, it's an open book with me.
Word.
Cool. Hey, I think this is the first time I'm meeting you. It's nice to meet you. I'm your friendly
Yeah.
neighborhood ninja.
Friendly neighborhood ninja, indeed.
Yes. He's totally friendly. He's totally in your neighborhood right now, looking in through your window with the crazy ninja eyes and a sword on his back. While eating
That's
chicken
why
wings.
I draw all of my blinds all the time. If I didn't have to have a front door, I would. I'd just have a front door on the back side of my house and never answer the door. I don't like people, you know, really. I'm a
That
really
means you're a good
private
artist. That means you're a good artist. Good artists always hate people. I know I do.
Oh, good.
Speaking of, your art is actually really on point. I like your the profile image for your YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
But I can't help but feel like you just basically drew yourself as Harley Quinn.
Oh, that one. Yeah, okay. So that one's not updated yet. It's supposed to be a one of from Karma. That was from years ago. And yeah, it was kind of, I guess, inspired by what I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. I'll just say yeah, I'm guilty of that.
No, one of the things I tend to notice facial structure
Mm.
and things like that. And I noticed that you'd given Harley Quinn a very similar facial structure to yours, and it looked a lot like you.
Mm.
So I was like, so she drew herself with Harley Quinn. That's cool.
Well, I mean, it wasn't 100% intentional to draw me as Harley Quinn, but I find it funny, and it's so not what the typical third wave feminist wants to hear. But, you know, Harley Quinn is somebody I relate to, but in every bad way possible. Like, I've been through terrible relationships, and at one point it just really seems like I lived a life similar to hers and had a crazy, crazy boyfriend that was not far from the Joker. I mean, I could write a whole book just on that subject alone. And I think that's crazy. I was just just talking with people about this on my profile, I drew a Batgirl 41 homage piece. You know, the Raphael Albuquerque cover that got so hushed and shunned that people say kind of started the whole Comicsgate movement.
You're talking about the one where the Joker putting the smile on Batgirl's face?
Yep. Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because it's so hypocritical for modern feminists to say that that image is too violent and can't be shown, but yet they want to focus so much on everybody being violent. It's just, I find the whole logic backwards. If you're going to tell a story of domestic violence, you need to tell it in its full, and you should be showing girls the reality of the relationship between Joker and Batgirl and Joker and Harley Quinn, instead of fluffing it up in this pretty Suicide Squad package. I can't tell you how many girls in comic shops think Harley Quinn is this bubbly, happy character with such a happy romance with the Joker, and that's not it at all. And it's partly because we shun images like that people think that Harley Quinn and Joker are so happy when they're really, really messed up. So anyways, I relate to Harley Quinn. Sometimes I kind of did stuff like that. Like you said, make my profile picture look similar to me. But I will also say that artists, I think, tend to draw themselves in their work subconsciously anyways, because they're most familiar with their face and their features. So I think that comes out in their work regardless of what they're working on.
I can understand that.
Heck yeah, I based my character off of myself, so I consciously did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all do. I've been told several times that I look like most of my characters. Actually, I think I look a bit like Ramadi from Ironsides, except I'm not as pretty, you know.
I was gonna, yeah, really. You could use that as your profile pic.
But yeah, I don't know. I could personally view art as I wish I was better at it. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I wish I was better at it. I can't draw.
Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
I was about to say I can't draw half as good as either. Like I think the only person that could probably that doesn't draw like as even remotely as good as me is probably Matt, because that's mainly because he's more of a writer, not an artist. Am I correct, Matt? You don't have secret art skills?
Amazing. I've always got secret skills.
God damn you Asians and your secrets. Leave it to Asians to have secrets that they never tell you about.
What's up, little girl? Sorry, a little girl just came in.
No problem.
Daddy.
Now, art is difficult. I mean, it's just difficult any way you slice it. Even with practice, it never seems to get easier because you're always tackling new challenges anyways. It's something I really like to do, but it's also kind of the kryptonite of me. You know, I hate it and I love it at the same time. So it just is what it is. Art is not easy.
Ain't that the truth?
I think that's why there are more art critics than artists, right? At least in Spain, here everyone who finishes their art school, most of them go straight into writing about art, not doing art or teaching art.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of culture over there in Europe. I did a tour of Italy and Spain and France out of high school, and that was super fun. I really liked the art, and we went to the museums, all over there. We went to the Vatican. We went to the museum where we saw some Picasso. That was super cool.
Well, we used to be big back in the day, as Europeans. Now, not so much.
Well, Milo Manera was from Spain, wasn't he?
Oh, he's Italian, but I wish we did have some really good comic artists. I was talking about that in yesterday's live stream too. We back in the 1990s, we almost had like a comic revolution, but I don't know what happened. I think the old Spanish nature took over, and we ripped each other off and ran away with the money. But, I think that's what happened. But there's this guy, Vicente Segreyes. If you guys can look him up on Google, he's amazing. He's a straight up Renaissance painter, and this guy made comics because he liked them. He could have been a famous painter, but he chose to be a comic artist instead. And the guy is insanely talented.
Awesome. I really like fine art and painting. That's the thing that I want to do next. Once I have some free time and I have a bigger workspace, I'd love to paint a little bit more larger paintings. I like working really large. Yeah, that's awesome.
I hate to break it to you, but you have little ones. You're not getting much free time. I may not have kids, but I have friends who have kids, and I've seen how all-consuming kids can get.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's true. But you just do what you can, you know. I homeschooled my son, and I worked full time, and I did all those art pieces that you're looking at on Twitter and stuff over the past 4 or 5 years. It's been a busy 4 or 5 years. Oh, and then I owned my own comic shop there for a while, and that was insane. It was about 13 hours a day every day.
Oh yeah,
that's hustling right there.
I can see why feminists hate you, because you're everything they hate. You're a strong woman who can do pretty much anything and don't need them.
Hey,
man, I can't stand them. But thank you. Oops, there's a train going by. I'm gonna mute me for a second so you don't.
But
thank God for that mute button.
All right, and hey, for once it's not you having a train go by.
Yeah. Is that what she muted for?
All I know is
it because she had little ones.
I'm back. I live by a train and it's really loud, and so I don't.
Me too.
Yeah. There's been the
train has interrupted so many of my streams and others included.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad. There's been about 5 people over the past couple months that have died trying to run in front of the train.
What?
So it's not just a master thing.
That's
sorry. I'll be back in a sec.
Okay. Can you hear the train now?
Well,
if you can't,
no,
then I'm
it's actually
okay. It's pretty decent. All right, good. Then I don't have to worry so much. Yeah, sorry. Back on topic. Yeah, feminists and I really don't get along.
I understand. That all I gotta say is, when it comes to feminism, last I knew we were still on 3rd wave feminism. Then the last couple of days, come to find out 4th wave feminism happened, and I'm like, oh god.
4th wave? Oh,
yes.
God.
Oh boy.
It wasn't even its final form.
Exactly.
It's gonna just grow and be this monster, and the monster is gonna be hot pink with a crocheted hat on, probably naked, dancing in the street, and it's gonna look so ugly. It's just I can just.
I wasn't planning on sleeping tonight anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Ren and Stimpy. Oh, I'll be right back. Hang on.
I like that. I go hard in the paint against feminism, and yeah, it's 4th wave now. Yep.
Oh, no.
So what's the 4th wave about? It wasn't the 3rd wave insane enough?
It's me. I think what it is the birth of the Me Too movement.
Oh god.
Got us into 4th wave.
So that's the straight up witch hunt, right? Where we moved on to Inquisition right now. That's the next phase.
Well, the way I look at it is, if you were to take 3rd and 4th wave feminism, and you were to show it to the suffragettes who got women the right to vote and things like that, the suffragettes would pretty much look at them and look at what they took with their sacrifice and everything that they did, and just pretty much just be like, okay, you know what? Fuck you. You're a bunch of crazy bitches. You haven't suffered. You are the pinnacle of privileged. And they'd just be like, whatever. I don't think they'd tolerate it. It's like, it doesn't matter how many times you point out that the wage gap is a myth, because it's illegal to have the people, at least here in America. I don't know about Spain, but I know about here.
It is.
Yeah, you can't. If it was cheaper to hire women, then businesses would only hire women.
Just as they hire illegal Mexicans, am I right?
Yeah, pretty
Because
much.
it's freaking cheaper.
I'm back, by the way.
Word.
Back.
And
Hola again.
Star is right.
Hola.
He's all like, it's all about female supremacy. That is it. Men have one right, the right to remain silent.
And I think that's bullcrap because every woman deep down wants someone to protect her. I think it's a maternal instinct. You want to have kids. If you're a woman, there's something inside of you that wants to nurture children. You know, and you can try to kick that out of your system, and you cannot be in touch with that, and that's fine. You know, I'm not saying everyone who doesn't want to have children is a bad person, but I'm saying I think that it's a natural way to be as a woman to want to have children and want to have a strong, protective man. My husband is very, very alpha male, and that's, you know, what draws me to him. That's always what drew me to him. I had a huge problem before I met him of thinking the dating scene was horrendous because all the guys I thought were very weak and fragile. And here I was, a single mom, like taking the world on by myself. You know, I'm not going to settle for someone that I can outman. I think that's silly.
Oh yeah, and like, you know, the funny thing is Gorgonite, I'm sorry, that's what I meant by suffragettes when because he said all feminism did was piggyback off the success of the women's suffrage movement. That's what I was referencing when I said the suffragettes. And Star Villian sounds like she has internalized misogyny. Lol.
Gosh.
Yeah,
you know, I think feminism went wrong, critically wrong in two different ways. I think when they embraced the sexual revolution, and secondly, when they decided that women should be equal in men in everything that they do. I think women and men are different. I think they're built differently. And I think it is not shameful or offensive to acknowledge the differences between our genders. I think that's what makes us great and complement each other.
And men and women are complementary, right? If two pieces of the same puzzle are equal, they can't match. You can build a puzzle with them. So
exactly.
I think that's what's going on here.
I agree. And if you have two pieces of the puzzle that are the same, you're always going to be fighting for the power, and you can't get anything done.
Oh yeah. Well, for me, it's when you look at a lot of the things that feminism has become, you can't help but look at all the things that they've done wrong. I mean, one of the big issues is, and I know this is going to catch me some flack and people aren't going to like it, but I do believe that part of the problem is when they got rid of made a no-fault divorcee thing. If you're going to get married, like if you look at prior to I guess you could say no-fault divorce becoming a thing, you had a lot of people, especially, now I'm not saying if you don't have kids and whatnot, that's different. No-fault divorce at that point is perfectly fine. But if you have kids, and unless your husband's like beating on you, cheating on you, spending all the money on booze, things like that, there's a legitimate reason why you need to get away from him, and vice versa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Man needs to get away from a woman. Unless those situations, you need to work on your marriage. You need to work on worrying about what's best for the kids. Because if you're just arguing all the time, well, what's the root of why are you arguing? What is the root cause of it? What is creating the situation to become so hostile that you feel that the only way you're going to be able to fix the situation is to get out of the relationship? Now, and mind you, I also need to add in mental abuse. That does fall into there too. But the whole point is, that's part of what destroyed it. Without the family, and if you look at our society's been crumbling for the past 30, 40 years. And it's been crumbling because of the fact that we have so many things that was implemented because of second wave feminism. They got rid of they didn't want manly men. They wanted emasculated men. They wanted men that they could control because daddy didn't love them good enough or whatever. So now they got to take it out on whatever man they date.
I think we can all agree on the fact that second wave feminism, I think, Mindy, you mentioned that back in the sexual revolution days. I think that was in the 60s that they put the movement, they put psychopaths in charge of the movement. because Gloria Steinem, this other that working woman, Andrea Dworkin, I think she was.
Gloria Steinem is one of the people that is one of the crazy women that you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she's completely bonkers. I've heard interviews, I've read interviews. You know, the kind of questions that they ask you when you want to go into Mensa, you know, she would fail them all because her reasoning doesn't stand. I mean, a child could reason better than her. That woman is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were pretty crazy. And I have to agree with your point that that was made earlier, that the family structure is degraded, and I think that's caused a lot of problems. If you look at crime and fatherless children, these statistics have all skyrocketed over the past, I guess, 50 years would be a good spot on that. You know, we used to, our parents' generation had more respect for the family. Their parents' generation before that had more respect for the family. And the whole divorce thing, you're right. I think women take empowerment too far, and they want to go out on their own because they're inspired by, they're told by other women. They're very gossipy. That this is what they should do to feel empowered, is to say, whatever, men, you can't control me. And yeah, they do divorce. They think that, I think it gets in their heads because we are attractive. I think the females are more attractive than men. We have more power visually, and that we can use that as social influence. And I think it gets in women's heads, especially if they are attractive and they have had any kind of social, manipulation, if the skills in that area, that they can just tell people no and not listen to any man tell them what to do. When the truth is, I don't think women are mentally strong in some areas that men are. I think men are good at protecting and leading and working hard without distraction. There was this scientific demonstration that just fascinated me years ago, that they had a woman's brain and a man's brain, and they gave one topic and sort of touched the brain with that one stimulation. You could see the male brain, it was focused. That topic would just kind of rest like a little electric light. And then you touch the female's brain with that same thought, and the whole brain lit up. What that are the synapses in their brain. The fact is that when women think, I've got to cook chicken for dinner tonight, they're also thinking about what time they have to get to the store, how they're going to get there, what time they have to cook the corn and shuck the corn. Do they need butter? Do they need to cut vegetables? All these things go on through their head. If you say to the man, hey, we need to cook chicken for dinner tonight, the man's like, cool, I'll go get the chicken. Like our thoughts are really scattered and all over the place as women, and we tend to be really gossipy because of it, and we need social justification. There's this really good book called The Female Brain, and it goes all about or into depth all about teenage girls and how they need social acceptance to actually feel okay. It's more hardwired into their brains than it is teenage boys, that they need to be socially accepted. So it's not surprising that the suicide rate of young girls right now is higher than it is of young boys because of slander on Facebook and stuff like that. So it comes around, and I think women just take it too far. That's my main point that I'm getting here, is that we think we're too powerful. We think we can take on the world and degrade the man. But if you think that way, you're really missing out on having a good man in your life. And it's okay to take a step back and not have to feel like we're threatening women's rights by acknowledging that men can also be a part of our life and be strong and not have to emasculate them. It's just so such a power grab. I think these women, they're just on their high horse. And that's my 2 cents, really. I could talk about this for hours. I really hate it. I really hate third wave feminism.
Oh, yeah. No.
Oh, yeah. Talking about, the family thing is just, yeah. Is that me?
Can you dig it?
Is that me?
No. That's fixed now.
Oh, that was weird. It's just, I actually was out for a second there because I had to go handle some kids. And, everything that Mindy's saying here, it's really what's important about a family structure. I'm actually separated from my wife because she subscribed a little too much to the social justice and the third wave feminism, which I'm guessing is now taken fourth wave form. And yeah, it really made things difficult. I get that's really what happened. One day I was watching a video that was making fun of social justice warriors, right? And I was like, oh my God, you'll never believe this video that I just saw, right? And I told her, gave her the description, and she's like, my whole life is social justice. How can you feel that way? I was like, oh my God. That's when we were basically separating, but I was trying to keep things fun and light and trying to work things out, but whatever.
Oh yeah, no, I get it. And check the rates, Mindy, because I was like, I wanted to make sure, because I did disagree with you on the suicide rate is actually higher with men of all ages, actually.
Teenage, really? Oh, I
Yeah.
read the opposite.
Yeah, nope. Checking the numbers right now.
Oh,
Women currently, or well, for the last time I was checked, which is 2016, it's roughly about 6 deaths per 100,000. And
yeah, you should check more recent than 2016.
well,
I think it might have changed.
this is the one I found. I guess you could say the quickest. I'm trying to see what the current stats are, but because I don't like using outdated stats myself.
Yeah. Well, regardless of of
Either way,
which
it's
is
still,
worse, there's still suicides, and there's still
yeah. I know on average men are commit suicide more than women. I know that for a fact, but that's just
maybe it could be that what I am referencing, if I am wrong, although it would be nice to get stats from like 2018, is the increasing rates. Like the suicide rate has increased more in girls than boys since 50 years ago. Maybe
I think that's probably due to the fact that they're becoming, so to speak, more equal to men, and they're going into the workplace more often. They're being tasked with typically, damn it, what is this noise? Sorry, with typically male tasks, and I think that's taking its toll in the new generation of women. That's just my opinion, and I could be wrong.
no. You're like, besides the point. To be honest, I mean, we should move on because let's just say suicide is a rather macabre topic, and
yeah, it's true. Well, I think it pertains to comics because of this whole stuff going on that I've been hearing with Gail Simone and the whole refrigerator thing, whatever that is. And if I was going to wrap that up, I would say that women in comics shouldn't be afraid to use their bad experiences with men and domestic violence as building their characters to become, female superheroes. I don't see anything wrong with including that in a story. I think they're all mad because they don't think that experience, for some reason, because it involves men, is worthy enough to give a woman her start and build her character, and I disagree.
well, let's be honest. The Gail Simone wouldn't even have a career had she not done the whole women in refrigerators bit. That's the only way. If had it not been for that, she wouldn't. We wouldn't know who she is. Let's just be honest.
Yeah, you're probably right. It was funny because someone had commented, "Oh, well, I had met Gail Simone at a signing once on my Twitter," and they said, "But she was very unfriendly and cold." And I said, "Cold, like a refrigerator?"
Ooh.
Oh no! And I don't want to attack people, I'm not a nasty person. I'm really not. I am cool with just being friendly, but I couldn't resist that joke.
Sometimes they give you.
Well, there's sometimes, yeah. Well, and that's another thing is the left does not understand humor and how to not take themselves so seriously. Joking with friends, you just make a casual joke, and all of a sudden someone's offended and triggered. You know,
Shut the
that's
fuck
not
up.
how you live your life. Have fun a little bit. Stop being so serious.
Right? No, like, I'm sorry, but you cannot play Cards Against Humanity with a bunch of liberals. But you can play
No.
Cards Against Humanity with a bunch of conservatives because you know conservatives will be like, oh, sup, model. But they'll be like, I saw an opportunity and I took it.
Oh my golly, yeah, I love that game.
That's a great
Oh.
game.
Really is. It really okay. I still say one of my all-time favorite ones that I like answers, and I won with this. Was was one of the unofficial expansions for it. Crabs Adjust Humidity. All right.
Mhm.
Homegirl had like all three of the original unofficial expansions and everything, and one of them was I got called. The black card was I got called to the HR department due to an incident that involved blank, blank, and allegedly blank. All right, you'll like this. I got called to the HR department due to an event that involved a struggle snuggle, forced anal, and death by snoo snoo, and allegedly death by snoo snoo.
Epic.
That is, I don't
If
care.
there was a way for us to play that game on a stream, that would be hilarious.
Oh God, I would beat all of you because I am a horrible, horrible human being.
Oh, that would be fun,
Uh,
actually.
I got one for you. I remember this one, right? It was the black card is the greatest superhero team is blank and blank. And the only two cards I had for the greatest superhero team was Ronald Reagan and AIDS. That put me over the edge for that game.
It might have been a pretty good team on the 80s. But yeah, they were all the rage back then. Ronald Reagan and AIDS.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like, and that's what got it over the edge. You know, that was the thing. Reagan and AIDS. The
God,
superhero team.
That is a good one. Another good one I did was money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you blank.
Hookers.
The smooth unblemished. No, the smooth unblemished skin of a child.
God.
I twisted.
Man, I don't remember any of these cards. It's been so long since I played. I only remember one, and I don't really want to say it out loud.
That's generally a sign that it was a good one.
It's a really good one. It's one of the worst in the deck, and that's why it sticks out in my mind. But I can't remember any of the others.
No. All right, so you know how in the expansions you can get the blank cards so you can write your own?
Yeah, I've seen that.
Let's just say I'm not gonna say it in stream because I'm not getting a strike on my channel for it. But I created a one so bad that it's literally most people when they play it, it's practically a I win card.
Nice. There was one guy at a show once when I was at I think WonderCon, and he was going around with, I think they were blank ones, and they had little descriptions on the top, and he was having artists draw what the card said on the card. And I thought that was a really cool idea. So he has a card deck sitting around somewhere with all these illustrations of what it says on the cards. I did a ice pick lobotomy.
Nice.
Yeah, I drew a little guy going, and he's got an ice pick in his forehead.
Yes, Mecha Hitler. That's another good card.
Mecha Hitler, yeah.
If you know how to play, like, when it comes to Cards Against Humanity, if you know how to play all of them really well, like, and then you have those, like, I had a homegirl of mine that accidentaled a whole bunch of World War II references to the right question. I can't even remember the cards, but I just remember I was the only one that caught it. It was something like Mecha Hitler and Auschwitz, actually, I think was the two, to the right question. And I was just like, oh God. And she was like, I didn't know what they meant. I just played them. They were throwaways. I was like, oh my God, this is the greatest throwaway ever.
And you didn't. How did you not know?
So you guys are giving me, are making me want to play this game. You know, I'm finding new hobbies other than shooting BB guns at people from my window.
It's like one of the best. I mean, we actually made up our own cards. We actually didn't even know. I didn't even know there was an expansion. So we just did our own cards.
I think they're on like their 7th or 8th expansion. Like friends of mine have the I think it's called the Biggest Blackest Box. And it's so huge that like it is, I'd say, if you took like the original Nintendos, the original set like 2.5 of them next to each other, like that level big. That's how many cards there are.
A lot of fun.
Like, I love that game because it's all about, you have to be witty in order to be able to play that game, and you got to be a bit twisted. You can't just be like, oh well, I'm habitually offended by everything, because then the game becomes no fun.
I think that sounds.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that sounds like the kind of game that I like to play. You guys see the stuff I write on my Twitter? That's perfect for me.
Great. Oh man.
Yeah, go out and get a copy of it.
Oh, you will not be disappointed, especially if you have those around you who have a very twisted sense of humor.
Yeah, that's the problem. I only need friends now.
Hey! You're trying to move to America anyway. Once you get here, we can figure out a way to get everyone together long enough for us to play at least one good game.
Dude, I hung out with a couple of friends in New York last time I went there, and I had the best time I had in years. Americans are great. I like you guys.
Like
Americans are pretty cool. I've got a citizenship in the UK, so although I don't do anything with it. I've been there a couple times, and my mom grew up in London.
Oh, nice.
It doesn't seem like you'd want to go back, though.
No, I don't think so. I think I'm cool where I'm at. I've lived in Canada as well, so I've got Canadian in me.
Yep.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Canadians are funny people.
Why don't we have Josh in here? This would be like the Canadian Josh.
He's probably busy working on Man of Masons.
He probably is, knowing him.
Oh, and hey guys, I wanted to let you know I've probably got about maybe 20 minutes that I can be on here left, because I got to run and people are coming over. But did you guys want to talk about anything or go over anything first before I go? Were you curious about anything in particular?
Yeah, shill your comic. Your story. You didn't do any of that yet.
I know. Okay, cool. Well, I can give you I have my elevator pitch, but you probably have already read it or seen it somewhere. I don't know. Do you want to hear it again?
Go for it.
Sure.
I haven't, so go ahead, yeah.
Okay, cool. Make sure this is the right one. It's a little shorter on Twitter. This one's a little bit longer. It says, "You call it limbo, I call it the Etherworld, where the damned are itching to break free. When the very threads of life and death unravel, it becomes one twisted, ugly fight to control the power of the Etherverse. The most wicked of all immortals have been plotting their sinful reign for centuries. Will they finally rise above all? Escape in this thrilling adventure mythology fantasy about fleeting morality, insatiable appetites, and the webs of wonder in an ancient world. It all begins with one brash and willful girl named Karma." So Karma is actually the name of my protagonist.
Nice.
So it's like this person trying to escape limbo, something like that.
Yeah, about a bunch of immortals in a realm called the Etherworld that is based off of the concept of limbo. Yes, and
Nice.
they are all just tired of being there. They've been there for a long time. Some people have been there longer than others. I won't necessarily call them people. I'll call them all kinds of beings and weird beasts and things like that. And yeah, they're all tired of just wasting away. So it's this grand fight to try to break free of eternal suffrage, if you will.
I like the idea.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, I'm so excited about it. I was going to release it as a written novel because I gave up comics almost 2 years ago now, and I was about to set every comic I saw on fire.
I know the feeling, believe me, I know the feeling.
Yep, I was done. I threw in the towel and I was so done. And it was sad because I was so inspired before then. I wanted to be the next like Todd McFarlane. You know, he's my probably ultimate inspiration in the industry. And I really wanted to do something like he did with Spawn and break the mold and draw these dynamic characters. And he's one of the only people in the 4 years before I threw in the towel that actually had a quality conversation with me and gave me positive critique and was able to help me. Everybody else just ignored me. And I figured out why. Since I've been doing these podcasts, I was talking with Tim Lim the other day, and he said that he would go around and he was having trouble or something getting portfolio reviews, or I forget what he said. Don't quote me on that. We were talking about portfolio reviews, and I said that I was shoving my portfolio in everybody's face, like right off the bat. I would go to shows all the time, and I would weasel my way into the booths at wherever publisher, DC, Marvel, Zenescope, and I would like trap the people that hired artists and force them to look at my portfolio. I was really assertive and determined to get a job, and I would give them prints, and I was just always trying to ask for a job and ask for work. And it didn't click until I talked to Tim Lim that the first 2 pages in my portfolio are, one, my pencils of the Batgirl 41 homage piece, which offended all of the feminists. So if they were on that wave of, riding that train, then they already didn't like it. And the second page was of a satire piece I did of Trump and Hillary, and my pencils there, where Trump is kind of winning against a zombie Hillary. So I didn't even have to flip a page for them to get offended. I think I realized I just offended everybody. And I didn't know that I was doing that. And I think that's why nobody wanted to talk to me. But I accidentally got stuck in a room with Todd McFarlane, and he was super cool. And he gave me some really good feedback. So he's my inspiration. And I'm inspired by Comicsgate to try to finally do comics again. So I'm going to give this my 110% and see what happens. And it's going to be an ongoing series. This first launch on Indiegogo is just the first one out of probably 6 or 7, maybe 8, depending on how many pages I have left. 42 page issues, 42 pages each. So that's like 252 pages, maybe a little more.
I will say this: the extent of my interaction with Todd McFarlane, I actually have the screenshot somewhere. Actually, I even think I shared it on my I did share it on my Facebook. It was he was doing one of his live streams where he tries to teach drawing and everything, and he's all like being very Bob Ross about it.
Yeah.
And he was drawing a picture of Thor, and I went and popped on there. I was all like, Todd McFarlane, the Bob Ross of comics. And he responded back, happy little Thor hammers everywhere. I was like, yes!
He's really hard to get to. He has handlers that are with him all the time when he's out at the shows and in public. So, I mean, I just happened to get stuck in a green room with him. And it's a story I told on another podcast yesterday, so I won't retell it, but it's kind of funny. I was looking for donuts, and then I ran into him in this secret room behind the show. And that's the only reason why I got as much time to talk with him as I did. He's a huge inspiration for me.
Oh yeah, he seems like such a nice guy.
Yeah, he's like an average Joe, except he draws comics and he's rich. But
Right.
apart from that, he's like everyone else.
Yeah.
Well, and he does McFarlane toys, right? So that's huge.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
my golly. I have
He's
so
got
many of
his
those. I'm such a nerd.
He's really good at
You
marketing
know what's
himself.
funny? What's that?
He's really good at marketing himself.
Oh my God, yeah, he is. Like Mindy was saying, that's funny because he's been one of my biggest inspirations, and you know, he held on to his character, you know, the entire time. And Spawn was one of my favorite characters growing up.
Yeah, he said that he didn't want to really talk about Marvel when I was talking with him because I had just gone through a portfolio review with Marvel, and that was about a month before that point, and I was really, really trying to figure out why I wasn't getting a job and what I could do better. And I had just submitted my first piece to Marvel after their portfolio review to like get on this list because you have this portfolio review and they send you a list of like 40 different pieces and say do these and you know impress us and then maybe we'll give you a job one day. And so I had just turned in my first one and I was just having the hardest time getting real solid critique and couldn't figure out why my stuff was I was still not getting like even the slightest indication of maybe I would get hired in the future. Like not even anything, not even like a time frame. If you work on this and this and this, we might consider hiring you. Nothing. It was just so vague. The whole Marvel experience was so vague and uninformative and disappointing. So then when I talked to Todd, I was saying, hey, I really need your help. I need someone to tell me what's wrong with my art and why I can't get these people to hire me. And he said, I don't want to talk about Marvel really, you know, but here's what I'll tell you about your art. So he has a lot to say about art. I think art is one of his passions, although he really does like baseball too. And he's a really cool resource. I love his videos on Facebook.
Oh, definitely. It's just, like I said, that was my experience. I had to brag about it. I'm still kind of jealous because you actually got to meet the man, the myth, the legend himself, but that's me.
You know, I myself.
Yeah, I don't.
Sorry,
go ahead.
Oh, okay. No, I just wanted to say that you know, if at least Mindy, you got inspired. You know, you didn't give up your love for comics, thanks to Comicsgate. Then I'm going to go. I'm going to go full sentimental here. I'm going to say that it was all worth it. If we made at least one person not give up on comics and want to keep trying and make their own stuff, I think it was all worth it.
So, yeah, I think that's really cool to hear. That's how you know life works, right? I mean, you can only do so much and just hope that something good comes from it. And that's I've been really trying to interact with people on Twitter, and that's all I hope comes out of my book too. You know, I have no idea what to expect, and especially because I'm so attached to the story. I've been working on it for 5 years now.
Wow.
I don't want to get too hopeful that you know my dreams are going to come true or anything. So I'm just going to go with the flow and be kind of detached about it and share with my art and just see what people say. And I'm just really grateful for any support. And it's cool to see how positive people are after 5 years of just bull crap after bull crap. And that's all we can do, right? We can just be a positive change in the world and inspire people to be nice and friendly with each other, which is so what this industry needs. People just always want to fight about comics, and it's really draining. At the end of the day, you got to just take a breath and just remember why we're here. And that's just to be good to each other and to like art and appreciate good stories. So thank God for Comicsgate. Thank God for you guys.
It was a pleasure.
But
maybe I should just drop the mic and leave on that note.
That would be a good note.
I was actually about to say since you are about to be heading out and we have been going for almost 2 hours, I figured we'd go ahead and call it quits there.
Awesome.
Does that sound like a good idea with everybody?
I'm cool with that.
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Since you just gave your elevator pitch, Mindy, let everybody know where to go and where to find you real quick.
Cool. Yeah. So my channel on YouTube, I can send you a link to for the description if you include links. It's I think just /Mindy Wheeler Art, and then I'm on Twitter /Mindy Wheeler Art, I think, as well. just find me Mindy Wheeler Art on any social media platform, and I've pretty much got the name nailed down. So I don't have the book launched yet. It's going to launch in 2019. I'm thinking right around February 14th, which is a very sentimental date for me because it's the anniversary of when my husband and I were going to have our event and got slandered, and also because I love my husband and that's a special date for us. So I think that's when it will come out, but don't hold me to it. But it's going to be around that time, and that's all you can do is just stay up to date and be awesome. Keep being awesome, everybody. Thank you.
All right. Canales, you're up next, bruh.
Well, I just want to tell you all guys to stay tuned for Flashbang, which is coming up. You'll be seeing new stuff on my Twitter feed in no time, and I don't know, maybe 2-3 months top, you'll be able to buy it from Indiegogo like you did Iron Sights, and I'm having a blast throwing it. Also, keep an eye out for Decimators. I think it's coming out this month, and that's it. Stay awesome. Keep being excellent to each other, and as Mindy said, remember that we're doing this because we love comics, not because we hate SJWs.
Good answer. Matt, you're up next.
All right, so I've got a project going on called McKinnon Chronicles. It's a space opera set about 4,000 years in the future. I'm working on getting it out by the end of the month. Hope you'll all check it out.
All right. Ninja, you're up next, bro.
All right. Well, it's kind of hard to follow all these people with any kind of legitimate plug because I'm probably the least of you with very little other than just my YouTube channel and my Twitter account, which you can follow those at Your Friendly Neighborhood Ninja. On there, I mean, I guess I'm trying to just have fun. I mean, I was drawing some pictures, trying to show basically how to draw a little bit, sketching. And I have an idea of my own comic, but it involves everybody just kind of giving me ideas so that I'll just, tell me what you want to see, and I'll try and draw it. But my family's been kind of filling up the roster for ideas, so you guys, if you have anything, give me anything you just want to see in a comic book, or in at least that comic that's on the channel. So it'll be fun. Calling it the community comic, I just wanted to have fun making a comic with everybody. Is basically the idea I had behind it.
Word. All right. And of course, as always, I'm your host, Bob Jones, the one and only. The man, the myth, the legend that fights the Reticuloids from Reticuloid 9. Bringing you a whole bunch of soy-free, good, all-American patriotic comic book news and information. All right, America. Stay strong, stay soy-free, and stay proud.